welcome in everybody, and welcome back to today's flight. I'm going to be doing a Beechcraft Baron flight, one of my favourite planes, the Baron 5.8, from Alderney, a little island in the south of England. Just south of England, in between, in the channel basically, near Guernsey and Jersey, next to France. So yeah, going from this small island of Alderney, all the way up to the Isle of Man, which is also wedged between England and Ireland. So we're all doing island hop today. Estimated flight time is 2 hours, and we got a checklist as well, so we can use this for the flight. I've just downloaded, not just downloaded, but I just checked the flight plan. I think everything's looking pretty good. We're expecting, I'm going to use the iOS to change it, but we're expecting at least 4 people on board. I think that's including the pilot as well. So we're going to add that in now. So we've already got 2 pilots in. So we'll leave that as it is, and then we'll just put another 2 people in the back. As you see there, the weight of the aircraft changed and the center of gravity changed, so it was more front heavy, I guess. You could always weigh that out a bit actually and put them there and then remove that. 2 lots of cargo storage, but we want 86. Oh, wrong thing. 86. So we go for 40, maybe there. 43 in each section. It's about 86 altogether. Fuel wise, 258 in block fuel. So we just drag it like this, 258. That's close enough. So yes, bear with me, I want to get this Avi tab open. I want to show you, so here we are, St. Anne, Alderney. Of course, down there is Guernsey and Jersey. Over to the right there we have France. We have flown there before in the Citation X, and I think in the Baron as well, or maybe not. We will do in the future. I know we flew to Rouen a few times, and we've flown of course to London City. We're going all the way up here, all the way up north into, it's saying Douglas. This is the Isle of Man. I don't think we're going straight into Douglas. I don't know. We'll have to check. Yeah, so 2 hours. Let's get on with it. Charts. I'm looking for the FMS plan, so output, which is the chat list. Okay, here we are. So let's hop in. Let's get our doors closed. Do it from the outside view. It is such a good little plane. This is really good. They've upgraded it. It seems upgraded at least, and there's a reality expansion pack available. But the default versions, excuse me, pretty damn good as it is. I don't think there's any need for the reality expansion. Anyway, seats, seatbelts and harnesses, parking brake. Let's get connected to VATSIM. All avionics, gear down. Get rid of the yoke. I got my own yoke now. Gear down, cow flap selectors, check open. Fuel selectors, for some reason it's always on in this aircraft. Circuit breakers, well, they can't pop, so we know they're all in. There's some down here as well. Okay. Battery switch is coming on. And beacon on. Fuel quantity. Well, we just refueled, so we're not in the yellow arc. We got over half in each tank, which is great. Landing gear position checked. Emergency landing gear crank is also checked. Stowed and checked. Okay, starting. What we're going to do now is we're going to get our ATC clearance just before we start our engines. Connect to the network. So when I type, it's interesting to type in Baron 5.8 into that VATSIM, the X-Pilot, because it comes up with Coal Mill Foxstar Baron 5.8. I don't know if that's available for this game, and then it also comes up with others like the Beech 5.5. It comes up with a lot of aircraft we can't get on this game, which I just find interesting. If only they had more options available, I'm sure people would buy them, and the Duchess as well. Or is it the Duchess? You have the Baron and you have the female equivalent. Okay, so going back to the call sign, who am I today? So we got Charlie, Golf Charlie Alpha Bravo Golf, a nice British call sign. Hoping London Centre's on, at least they'll be within range for us, and thank you to everyone who watched the flight yesterday. Just a note on yesterday's flight, we will never take those risks again in a flight or a stream. We'll always try and do it properly without taking any shortcuts, because you see what happened, took shortcuts. We tried to play it fast and quick, and then we ended up failing. Okay, so when we're not on, just a word on X-Pilot, when we're not on, as in battery and power on with transponder on, we won't be able to see on the map immediately. It takes a little bit of time to load up there. We are IFR today, so we're gonna have to program our own coding. It looks like we're the only person here. We have got someone down in Jersey, and obviously other planes in the vicinity. There's no ATC though. Okay, so let's go back onto plugins and Avitab. London East Centre, let me just check one sec. London East, so it's not covering us. We want London South if it comes online. Okay, no avionics on until the engines have started. Have I got a shortcut for this? No, I haven't. Might be worth keybinding something. So mixtures, fully forward. Propeller control, fully forward. Fuel boost. I tend to do this anyway, so I kind of already know the checklist. I just wanted to do it so you guys can get a better feel for the aircraft. This is free to download, this checklist, by the way. I'm sure you can find a real world one as well. This one's specifically for the Baron on X-Plane. Throttle, so about quarter inch, half inch close, then half inch open. That's quite a lot. With the fuel pumps on, by the way, just notice that. Magnetos. Let's go for number left engine start first. Nope, nothing. Probably because we just flooded the engines, putting the throttles too far forward. Which is a shame, to be honest, because, you know, we followed the checklist and it's ended up flooding the engines, I'm guessing. I was just going to say I wouldn't recommend putting the prop fully forward. Maybe about 75% and then turn the fuel pumps off as well. So a simple thing to do now, just get them idle. I have had issues with this before. My throttle 900 to 1000 after start, the engine is hot. So what is it? It's about 19 degrees. It's not that hot here. Warm but not too hot for the engines. In the event of a bulk start, overprime, place mixture control and idle cut off. We've done that and open the throttles. Okay. Operate the starters to remove excess fuel. Let's do that. As engine starts, reduce the throttle to idle and place the mixture control in full rich. Right, so we're going to do that to get the fuel out, apparently. Let's hope it works. Hey, it works. Fantastic. Okay, I didn't think that was going to. Good checklist that actually, yeah, so it even counts for the engine being flooded. Now you just gotta do the same thing on the right side. Keep doing the engine until it cranks into gear. There we go. And then introduce the fuel. Now you can reduce the throttle. So that's a really good checklist for the flooding there. Low pressure within 30 seconds, so 10 psi. That's well over 10. Alternators coming in on. Okay, so I did have that programmed to, if anyone saw it, I told you through it, where it would both generators or all generators be toggled on using the switch. I'm not sure why it's done it like that, but it's a shame you have to keep reprogramming it because the game won't. Right, there we go. So that's now both. Load meters and volt meters. Check for battery charge. That's down here. So you got sorry, down here. Alternator loads. So they've sort of increased. They're increasing a bit more. And then we got bus load there as well, about 30, just under 30. For some reason the textures on that throttle are looking a bit odd today. They're looking a bit odd on the control throttle thing. Maybe they've always looked like that, but just looking a little bit not as crisp as I was used to. It may be because I've been flying Microsoft Flight Simulator, to be honest, and that is a very crisp game graphically, at least. Okay, voltmeter 28 volts. Still kind of waiting for it. Increase that power in the engine. Yeah, I never get 28 on there on voltmeter. I know that's alternator, but still, we got it on the bus volts. I think that's what it means. Okay, next checklist page is okay. Do not operate engine above 1200 until oil temperature reaches 24. Okay, so let's reduce the throttle. We're above 1200 then. Give it about 1000 until the engine temperature increases. It's not quite like 24 degrees. It's actually quite cold. And the oil temperature there. And oil pressure is in the green, but temperature's not quite there. So we'll wait a little bit before we use that. Avionics coming on. And transponder standby. That's caution after start and taxiing. Really good checklist. Before takeoff, we'll do that when we get to the runway. We do need to get a random squawk code in our flight planning. Let's go for 4-4. I don't like 4 today. Let's go 3, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, 3, 3, 2, 1. Flight plan. Okay, I gotta figure out how to load this thing in. There we go. No, that's not it. So we have downloaded the flight plan. Have downloaded it and stuck it into the profile. Explain FMS plans as is expected. So explain 12 output FMS. We want the one that says Echo Golf. It's very odd. Doesn't seem to have been placed in the correct folder, so I've placed it somewhere and I've got no idea where it is. That's very typical. Apologies about this. Does tend to happen on the stream though. Welcome in, my name's Grantham. I do enjoy doing this pretty regularly. Usually 3 times a week, but today I decided to do it early actually for all you regulars. Today is early because tomorrow the stream won't be taking place until the evening, so I thought I'd get one early today, and the flight plan just appeared. We are at Juliet Alpha and we're going to November Sierra. Go ahead and enter that. I don't think we have a flight plan departure again. I don't think there's any SIDS or stars on this. No, there's no SIDS, and we don't have a star either, which is good. That saves a little bit of time. It kind of gives us discretion there to, you know, select our own departures and things. Although we don't really have a choice, we'll have to follow the wind. Where's the wind? I mean, we can look outside, look on the map. It's only 5 knots. Looks like it's going to be a free one for a departure. Let's check what the airport tells us. Yep, 3-1. So we take 3-1. We taxi down. I'll take the concrete because we've got the option of a grass taxiway here, but I've tried to taxi here before, and let's just say, I mean, look at all the chocks on the floor and the planes. It's not exactly that easy to do it. So we taxi down the concrete, go down Bravo, then we'll go here, and then we backtrack runway 31. Okay, taxi lights, all the ignitions are on, fuel boosts. Fuel temperature's picking up a little bit. Might be help if we close the cowl flaps, that might help. Or at least close them a little bit. Okay, 122. Decimal 8 on Unicom frequency. Get that throttle, the manifold pressure quite low for now until the temperature increases. See, we're going pretty fast already. Brake check, the brakes are working good. Actually, I'll do my cruising altitude. Cruising altitude today is only 5,000 feet, so we've not got much. High enough for a service from the ATC, but low enough that we probably won't encounter any big traffic. Okay, I'm going to do my takeoff checklist before takeoff now, because we're going to taxi onto the runway. Taxi onto 2 runways actually, so let's do, in fact let's just do a few other things. A parking brake, seat belts secure, fuel boosts off, all instruments have been checked, everything's functional, compasses aligned automatically in this thing, full rich mixture, starter lights gone off, throttles, we're moving. Why are we moving? We got our brakes on. I think we might have a brake failure. Ugh, seems we got everything's going wrong, isn't it? No failed systems. Pull in the parking brake. That's so peculiar. I mean, explain. I thought they updated it and made it better with 12.2. They've made it look better. Don't get me wrong. They made things look better graphically. But in terms of things they said they fixed, they haven't really fixed anything. Like the ATC is still completely broke. I'm pressing brake, you know, on there, and it's not doing anything. I'm pulling the parking brake. It's not doing anything either. Sorry to moan about it. It's just they say they updated it, but they've done absolutely nothing to it. And we're going to be taking off on the grass runway. I just realised it's number 3-1's grass, so we take the right hand turn. I don't know what's going on with the brakes. I'm pushing them. There's absolutely no stopping it at all, unless the control is good. Flaps are good. Let's go ahead and taxi. Pull the parking brake on. Maybe got a fuel, and then put the brakes on then and it just suddenly worked, so very peculiar. Unless it's on realistic mode, so you have to hold the pedals and pull the parking brake, but so it seems to have worked when I'm doing that, so there's something going on there with the realism which has not been altered on my end. You know, I've been doing it the way all the time. Very interesting. Okay, we need strobes on. Entering a runway. 3-1. Let's hope this is going to be a smooth takeoff. And we'll keep the checklist open for a pre-takeoff checklist. Before takeoff checklist. This is the runway, isn't it? Runway 3-1. Yep, we're taxi to the end. It's a lovely place, Alderney. The airport is fantastic. Nice and remote. It's a shame I didn't succeed in that Baron mission yesterday, but In hindsight, we did it really, really foolishly, and we did it poor conditions in the inappropriate plane. The tide was in, so there was no chance. Zero visibility with the tide in. You got no chance of landing there, even in a prop plane. You know, the sand will be wet. So what we'll try, this Alderney one to Laminar would be nice. Obviously we're doing that now. But it'd be nice to go back and do a proper flight to Baron where we succeed, and I will do it in the Baron. The Baron seems to be one that can handle those kind of conditions. You notice I'm texting slow, I'm just waiting for the temp. So the temp has in fact increased now. So it does take quite a while on the Baron. Maybe that's something I've been not giving credit to, is the fact that the realism of the instruments does in fact correspond to the real plane. It would take that long in real life. So that means I can now exceed 1200. Here's the end of the runway. There's no runway markings, there's just some lights. So you turn it, and we're going to do the checklist. We got to instruments, fuel indicators next. Yes, there's not been any other update regarding the brake. The braking is a lot better though, at least in this one. When you start to brake now, it doesn't pull that parking brake anymore, but it still does it on the Cessna. So if you pull that now, that's not going to do anything. So what we need to do is hold the full brakes and then pull it. Again, I've never done that before, it just seems to be something that's popped up today. So fuel indicators, we've checked the fuel quantity. Mixture's rich, energized annunciation light is off, throttles, so this is our magneto check, no doubt. I just realised in this aircraft you can't actually get you can't get over that 1900 I think, or the parking brake and things will start to fail. Because it's saying exercise the prop throttles. And then mags, throttles. See, I can't really do the magnetos at 2200. You'll see now, the plane will start to move on its own. Okay, maybe not. It's actually holding it pretty well. It's still moving though. No. So it can't do that. It can't do 2200 on this, which is a shame. We'll go for 1700 instead. We do the mag check on that. So throttles, check mag difference, 50 max, differential. To be fair, I'm not noticing any difference there. Prop sync needs to come on before takeoff. I'll try to follow the checklist to the T. Minimal drop. It's interesting the Baron doesn't have the drops in the mags like the Cessna. Or even the Piper. The Piper tends to have a massive drop in mags. It's something like 150 per, left and right. Compared to the Cessna, it's barely 50. Anyway, relaxing stream. We're taking our time today. We are flying for leisure, not for business. Okay, check the propeller feathering. So let's bring that back to about 1500, and let's do feather the propeller. Awesome. And you'll notice there's no warning for power settings either, which is good. You'll probably get a power warning at that manifold if you're in the air. So feathering's good. Throttles idle. Right. Are we meant to? So missing out an item there. It could say check feathering and then return to normal, because it just says turn the idle throttles to idle, which you wouldn't do whilst you was feathering. Anyway, that's good. All feathering is working. Let's get taxi lights off. Landing lights on. Also save both landing lights there. So idle. Let's check the RPM. Quite low, about 800 there. Same throttles 900 to 1000. It's just a little bit under. Electric trim, let's check the trim. The wheel as well. Yep. Probably hear it clicking in the background, the trim is working. The flaps, we're going to have one notch of flaps today because we're on the grass runway. Okay, elevators and controls. Ailerons and simultaneous rudder and elevators. Free and correct. If you are using the honeycomb like me, it's a little bit difficult to do the free and correct test because the surfaces are quite heavy, of course. We can just correspond that with the ailerons outside just to be sure that it's working. Flaps, we've done. Flight controls, elevator takeoff, doors and windows are secure, parking brake off, landing lights on, transponder, altitude, takeoff power, so we want full throttle, we want minimum takeoff oil temperature. Let's check. Yes, the oil temperatures rose. It didn't say close the cowl flaps, so let's keep them open for the takeoff. Takeoff power, mixture rich before it's accelerated to maintain recommended. Okay, so that means V speeds. I don't know if this has V speeds included, but for me V speed is probably about 105. Let's get going. I'll keep that open in the corner just down here so we can pull it up quickly. I love these kind of, I really do love these kind of flights. It'd be great to do this with somebody else in the cockpit as well. Just while I fix the X-Pilot push to talk again, this seems to have gone off. Alderney traffic, Charlie Golf Charlie Alpha Bravo Golf, departing runway 31 to the north. Let's get going. Parking brake off. The airspeed came alive pretty quick. We're going to cross the runway now before departure. Just waiting for that 80 knots. 80 knots. Okay, V1, rotate. Was it rate of climb? Gear coming up. You'll notice that the flight plan's given us a departure and I just want to hold it steady for now. As you can see, it's a little bit wobbly because of that rudder. I thought that issue has actually been resolved over the last few days since that last stream where I did the review of it. I managed to get it to go back to normal where it wasn't shaking the plane about as much. It seems to be a bit hit or miss. Mostly in the single piston aircraft it's absolutely fine. But then you get back in one of these and it sort of messes it up again. It's a shame. As you can see, it wasn't doing this the other day for me, but it was doing it when I did my review and things. Obviously because the aircraft's trying to center the rudder. Okay, nearly stalling. Let's do the after takeoff checklist. Remember, always use your trim as well. 5,000 feet we're climbing to, so landing lights. Yeah, we're in the air now. Set takeoff power. Retract, landing lights coming off. Airspeed and flaps retract. Pinch down slightly because of that nose drop, just to help the speed. You see we're probably getting about 700 feet. Nice 105 climb out speed there, which is ideal to be honest. A nice hot day. It is coming up as about 10 degrees now. Still pretty warm. There's our departing turn. GPS on. We'll follow the flight plan. Okay, mixtures rich. Cowl flaps required. Judging by the temperature, oil temperature and things, pretty good. You know, CHT is pretty good as well. We're probably alright just to leave them as they are because it is pretty warm. Power, still full power. Propellers 2500. Let's bring them back a little bit. There we go, about 2500. So this is standard procedure, which I already do. If you've ever seen my streams before, you'll notice I already do this. Now we didn't have yaw damper or prop sync on because they weren't on the checklist, so it's interesting. Usually for the Baron you would have prop sync on before takeoff, and you would have yaw damper on as well. So let's see what happens on the checklist. Let's see if it'll give us that option. Nearly at 5,000 feet already, and when we reach 5,000 I'll activate the autopilot. Monitoring the temps are all pretty good. Fuel boost have been off the whole time. Fuel flow schedule for full throttle on 2500, so it's given us, you know, what we need at 5,000 feet. So let's level off, just close that a sec so we can get established in the altitude. We're a bit all over the place. If it doesn't tell me to turn the yaw damper on, I'll do it myself. Okay, a low pitch down there for 5,000 feet. Yeah, that rudder really makes it look more turbulent than it actually is. It's not that windy outside, it's just the aircraft. Anyway, we're on course. Let's go ahead and select altitude and navigation. Now hopefully it should follow it, so it is following it, and we'll let it do that for the time being. I've seen pilots do this for real, by the way. It's not normal, it's not abnormal to use the autopilot like this to reach the target altitude. You know, you decrease the climb rate or ascent rate or the descent rate until you reach altitude, and then select altitude. Perfectly acceptable procedures to do it. Right, we've been overrunning the engines a little bit much because we're trying to do it properly. So fuel flow, when it is the mixture setting, we're already going pretty fast. So we need to get this changed. So we're at 5, so we're between 4,000 and 6,000 feet. Did we set the pressure altitude? No, we didn't. Pressure altitude is, I think, 1020, so we're a little bit low on the pressure setting. It is quite a high temperature as well, so that corresponds to the pressures. Right, fuel flow gallons per hour. Engines, so we'll reduce the mixture until we reach altitude, pressure altitude in feet, pressure altitude in feet as well. So we'll reduce it until we reach, we'll reach about 23 on there. So you can see on there what we've got, or 21 to 23. So let's go ahead and reduce that. There we go. If you were at 6,000, it'd be 20 to 22, so we're in the target range, which will give us that amount of flow per hour, which will reduce, of course, consumption and help make the engines more effective. Fuel flow shown at best. The best grade climb may vary with airplane. Right, that's actually for a cruise climb. That's my mistake. I read that as cruise, but oh well, we're at cruise anyway. So next checklist: caution, engine roughness at high altitudes at low fuel flow with fluctuation occur when climbing on hot days. Yes, I've noticed that. Eliminated by switching the fuel boost to low. Well, we got it off. I absolutely love this plane. This is one of the best propeller aircraft you can fly. It's not too hard to understand either. It's completely beginner friendly. Even if you don't use the checklist, it's very intuitive. If you watch an online tutorial, for example, there's some fantastic simmers out there who have made their own checklists. And real pilots who told you the real procedures as well, so always do that. Just a word of note, actually, this is not a pressurised Baron. I know the Baron is pressurised for the majority of aircraft that you see online, but this one isn't, so just be aware if you go over 9,000 or over 12,000 feet, depending on various factors, you're going to black out. So Just keep that in mind, it's not pressurized. Fuel flow is good. After adjustment, setting the fuel flow per manually initiate the engine using fuel pump ultimate lean the mixture of the airplane's pressure altitude. Okay. Cowl flap, so it needs them closed. That's pretty good for the cruise. Power set, so we still got 2500 on the power. That seems like way too much. At least it's giving us that high cruise speed. I usually cruise well slower, probably about 160. I think this is more realistic, to be honest. More realistic cruise speed. 193 true knots. And it's supposed to be cruising at 192, so yeah, I guess this is how you achieve those high speeds that we were looking for. You leave the manifold pressure high and the RPM high as well at 2500. I usually lean them to 2300 RPM or 22 and about 2000 manifold, but that would probably be for a different kind of cruise, I guess. Anyway, fuel boost we don't need. Mixtures set using the EGT. Well, EGT is pretty good on there. Avoid prolonged idle settings. That's descent checklist. You have to use the recommended descent speeds, quite high, so 16 below 13,000. We're actually going to be descending at 170. That's fast, very fast actually. We're still below 250. Cylinder head temperatures are not to fall below 149 C for longer than 5 minutes. Well, it's been high the whole time. Cowl flaps are closed now. Since it didn't come up with the checklist option for prop sync, we should really have that on, as I say, before we get out there. We should have yaw damper on as well. I'm really surprised they messed it up. It does seem to have helped the yaw though, and the rudder to calm down ever so slightly. Well, we're technically in, I think, Paris control. We're in French control still, or Guernsey. 2 hours estimated, and we're into London. We've got a strange arc that we're going to fly, so we fly into the London direction, as you can see, up to Sam, and then up, sort of like a loop. Yeah, there's Manchester, so it circles round up to Isle of Man. I'm going to let you guys sit back and enjoy the flight. This is one of the most relaxing flights I've ever done. Double check all the instruments, everything's on. Below 10 degrees, I'm going to stick pitot heat and the ice in store warning heat on as well. Course to 049. It will change in a second. Local time is 2 o'clock, it's coming up on there. 2:04 GMT time. Nice high cruise speed at 5,000 feet. Looking for that feedback from real world pilots, anyone who's got experience with Baron on X-Plane. Absolutely fantastic to use that checklist. Just to give you a reference. Need to get a shortcut for that. Number 9. It's got 34 pages. Let's just scroll through them. We've got the emergency procedures in here. We've got gliding. We've got a lot of good things in there to help people learn how to fly this aircraft, even if it is in a simulated environment. Okay, go across all the way to the end. I'm kind of looking for like references, speeds. You've got temperature things and like pressure altitudes and that manifold pressure reference, saying about 2100, but we're not going to be able to maintain this cruise speed at 2100 pressure. A lot of references in there for the cruise power settings, etc., which is what I usually do. So this high power setting today is a little bit abnormal for me. And then the next checklist, of course, will be our descent. Hey Finders, good to see you here again. I'm just taking the Baron out, as you can see. We've got a fantastic day ahead of us, fantastic weather in the UK, so flying up from the Alderney in the Channel Islands, all the way through south of England, to a nice little place called the Isle of Man, one of the best places I think for a day out, especially if you're a pilot who flies prop aircraft. If anybody's watched my previous streams in the Baron, one of the first streams I ever did in the Baron on YouTube was to the south of England. We took the Baron out, we flew around for, I think it was about 3 hours, until we ran out of fuel, and one of the destinations we went to was Bembridge. Also a fantastic airport. There's 2 airports, you notice, and it's important to point this out, but it's such a cool airport that I forgot it's a grass runway as well, so just be aware of that. It is a very nice airport, Bembridge, and of course, if you know, go back and watch the stream if you want, but the Baron itself can go quite far. I've done many cross-country trips in it, and even I did that Balkan sector as well for a few hours, so it can go considerable distance. And I checked the fuel tanks. With full fuel, I'm not kidding, the Baron can go for like 7 hours on a full tanks apparently. So you've got yourself, yeah, it was a good stream find. I enjoyed it. But it just goes to show, like, if you want a general aviation plane and you can afford it, go for the multi-piston engine aircraft, because it just has that range and that speed that the little engines don't have. Like the Cessna 172 is great, but you can't even get close to this speed in it. You know, you could barely get over 120 in the 172 at a fast cruise, and that's kind of pushing it. And you'd barely get, I don't know, you would barely be able to get from London to Manchester without running it. I don't know, you'd probably be able to do London to Manchester very easily, but you wouldn't be able to do that Belgrade, for example, to Bucharest one we did. It probably wouldn't be possible. Not only that, the Baron can tolerate higher winds. Like the 172 has a maximum speed, crosswind speed of something like 15 or 16 knots, whereas the Baron, you know, you can tolerate much higher speeds than that. London, Manchester, Liverpool. That might make an interesting stream. I'd like to do that. Absolutely love this aircraft, so we could probably do that in less than an hour and 30 minutes. This, just a word of note actually, this is not the realistic expansion pack. I did touch on it earlier. The default version for X-Plane 12, which is what I'm flying today, is really great, just as it is. The checklist, granted the checklist that I've downloaded is for the expansion pack. Now, you can actually use this with no issues on the default plane. You know, the expansion pack just makes things a little bit more realistic in terms of aerodynamics. But as I say, Laminar Research has done a stand-up job with the default one. It's going to set you back a couple of £100 to buy one, but I think for that extra speed, distance, fuel capacity, etc., and the fact that you've got, you know, you got like 5 passengers capacity in this plane and 1 pilot, that's pretty good. And then you've got a hefty storage as well. You've got a high cruise altitude for a piston aircraft which isn't pressurised. You know, it can get about 9,000 feet. If it was pressurised, of course, you could go as high as you wanted, up to the maximum ceiling. You probably go up to something like 14,000 feet in it. Well, it probably is find us. I know there's plenty of GA planes fly there, especially from places like Blackpool and Ireland. I don't know what port it'd be though. Well, actually, Douglas, I just looked it up. Douglas is the main principal port located on the east coast of the island. So yeah, you can get there from Belfast and Dublin and Ireland, of course, Liverpool, Birkenhead and Larne, and then there's Peel Port, which is the west coast of the island. So yeah, you could, if you were in the UK, just hop up to Liverpool if you're near it, or not. Go to Liverpool, hop on the ferry across to the Isle of Man, or my advice actually would be just go Blackpool Airport, get a plane, or Manchester Airport and just fly there. Provided you got a license, of course. Looks like we just entered the official south of England. Just obviously gone past Bembridge, taking the airways up Southampton. Thankfully we're not going to go, or we may be skimming London Control. Looks like we are going to go into it a little bit, just on the periphery of the centre of London there. Set this over here, so 1020. Make sure the backup altimeter is programmed. We do need to get the local QNH. Handy, go back to every tablet and simply click on airport. Go golf. If we just put Gatwick in, for example, give us a QNH for the area. Could be different where we are, where we are now. Actually, there's an even easier way of doing it. My mistake. So go to iOS, and it'll come with the weather over the area where you are. So 1019. So a slight change in pressure. We're not exactly high up, so we can't set standard pressure yet. Isle of Man, about the same size as Bornholm. Island of Denmark. I don't know who lives on Isle of Man. I'm just hoping they're gonna welcome us with open arms and plenty of ice cream, of course. So we're flying the older style Baron today with the classic 6-pack of instruments. This is not one of the well, obviously this is not a modern model, but the Baron 5.8 is still being produced with glass Garmin cockpits, so Garmin avionics, and it's still being produced as a brand new plane with those avionics. It's just these older style ones that are not being made anymore, but as I say, that's a fantastic purchase. I think I actually prefer these old style ones. I mean, don't get me wrong, the new ones look good, but nothing beats these classic instruments. You can actually get one. I'm just looking now. I was saying a couple of £100 maybe below, for just under 300 grand for the Baron 5.8 for the low end, and then high end, of course, up to 1.5 million. It's quite a lot. Or you can, although to be fair, I'm seeing some now that are as low as 180 grand, 160 grand. So maybe the older style instruments. Depends if you want to do Europe or something that's got a bit of issues, a few problems. Although, if it's from the 50, if it's from like one of the original series, the original designs, it's cost less. It is a lot. But most people get credit or something, don't they? They get the money given to them by a bank, and then they put like a deposit towards it. Still a lot of money though. So fuel flow is getting burned off a little bit quickly than I would expect. I've not managed to lean the mixture as much as I would like. It only gives us 2100 according to the recommended per gallons per hour. Now CHT is going quite high, so we need to. So this is why it's good to check the instruments. That may be because we're not leaning the mixture enough. Maybe because we're leaning it too much, or maybe because we've got too high a manifold pressure. But either way, that would be borderline abnormal. Not fall below 149. Well, we know it's not below that, but it's currently nearly exceeding 240, 220, 230 sort of thing. So just keep an eye on the CHT. If it starts to go up a little bit more, it's kind of at the point where I would want to take some action. But if it goes up any more, I'll take some action on it. EGT is pretty good, about 2150 on it. All the other instruments actually look alright, and if we check the, can't quite see it, but if we check the voltage, so alternator load's pretty stable there, and we got at least 29/30 volts, plenty of power available. Oh, here's the reference speed. Actually, this is what I was looking for before. Very, very handy to have this reference, and this is for this specific aircraft in X-Plane 12. Obviously, it should be the same for all Barons, but it's not always the case. So let's have a look at some V speeds. Never exceed 223, 19 maximum operating speed, 195. Well, we're currently at 182, 183. Maneuvering speed, well, I wouldn't perform maneuvers in this, just because it tends to creak a lot, and you can shear the wings off pretty easily, unfortunately. 152 max landing gear extension speed, which is pretty fast. Okay, 15. You can have 15 degrees at 150 knots. I have done that before, so I don't always use the white arc for the flaps, although for the 30 degrees I do tend to use it, so just be aware of that. Maximum flight extension speed, yeah. Single engine minimum control speed, so if you look on the airspeed indicator you can actually see that that's already programmed in there with a red line. So that's single engine minimum control speed. Best angular climb 92, and you'll see the best rate of climb 100. Best rate of climb speed 105, which is what we climbed out of Alderney with 105. So good reference speed there with the blue lines. And obviously slightly low for the best angle of climb, which will give you a steeper pitch. About 92 on that. Single engine best rate of climb, still pretty quick, 101, and then maximum glide speed. I don't know how to convert that into kg. I'll have to use an online converter, but it's coming up as 115, so it's pretty fast for the glide speed on that. Let's just crank those cow flaps ever so slightly. Just to help bring that CHT down just a little bit. The cylinder head temperature. As you can see, all we did was crack the cow flaps, that's both cow flaps by the way, and the CHT is now dropping. That's about all we can do in terms of cooling it down, or we can reduce the manifold pressure as I say, but cow flaps seem to do the job, and we don't want it to go below the thing that it told us. It said that, like, what did it say? 149, I think it was. Yeah, 149. Just let it cool down a little bit, and then when it gets to close, if it gets close to 150, we'll close them again, which it probably will do. So yeah, just crack it open, let it cool down, and then close them again, and that should do the trick. If we were to have a fire, actually, we would crack the cow flaps fully opened. I think we'd pretty much open them straight away to get that heat out, and obviously cut the fuel off as well. Change the fuel selector to the functional engine, cipher out that fuel from the one on fire. We don't need to worry about that. I don't really want to jinx the flight with talking about engine fires and things, especially after the failed rescue mission yesterday to Barra Airport. I will do it again in the Baron 5.8, I promise. It really is a unique airport, Barra is. It's Barra Beach is a literal beach that propeller airplanes land on. Okay, we're contending with about 8 knots for headwind, 8 or 9 knots, so as you can see we'll be probably about 174. I was saying 189 on ground speed, knots true, 189. That's peculiar. You'd think with a headwind we'd be have a slower ground speed, but obviously not. The Baron's managing to push through it all, and there's no clouds or anything. It's looking pretty clear actually. Fantastic flying day, absolutely fantastic. Okay, I know we're far away still, but I want to plan the arrival in advance so that we can Isle of Man. Some roads have no speed limit. I'm not a car, but I'm definitely tempted to go in super fast now. If you I don't know, that's pretty cool though. It seems like we're going to the lawless prison island. All jokes aside, Isle of Man is absolutely beautiful. Highly recommend it. Anyway, going back to the arrival. I don't know what our arrival is meant to be. We can get up on the Abbey tab using our flight plan, but that would mean closing the chat list, which is a pain in the ass, to be honest. Just off by heart though, we do have an ILS 08 and runway 26. But I hope other pilots would agree with me when I say this, but I do get fed up of doing ILS approaches. It's not that I don't like them, it's just that it seems to be like the one that people do the most, and at the end of the day, there's funner approaches, there's better approaches to do. An NDB approach has got more interesting things to it. It's got a better flight dynamic, you know, you have to do turns at certain rates and speeds and altitudes. I know it's the same with an ILS, but an ILS has got the glide slope system built in so that you don't have to do anything, whereas an NDB, you are relying on your instruments, you'll be relying on your directions and your ADF, etc. This is the ADF here with the yellow arrow. The same goes with an RNAV approach. The same goes with even a hand-flown approach requires just a little bit more flying than an ILS does. So, if any pilots concur with me on that, it'd be great to hear from you. So, for the sake of variety, we're going to go for the NDB runway 26, and we're going to assume that that is the correct runway. We've loaded it in, so when we get there, we can activate it once we checked what the active runway is. You also have finders. You have now been given a crown and 25 XP for being probably one of the most interactive participants in my stream, so well done. Thank you for the support. I hereby crown you the most interactive guest on my channel. Raise a toast to all future pilots, simmers and participants of this live stream, to your health and future. Indeed, it's fantastic that you can do the research finders. I also try and do it, but since I'm using one monitor, I have to flick back and forth between the internet, of course. Or I could use my in fact, I could use my phone. I don't know why I haven't been using it. I suppose if it's on the computer, I can show everybody what's available, what I wanted to show them, you know. Either man is worth. It is worth a visit. Like you say, ferry or aircraft is a good option. Unfortunately, there's no bridge connecting it to England or Ireland yet. It would be great to see something like that, although that would reduce the cost to get there. So people, they're not going to do that, are they? It's not like China, where they build bridges to connect absolutely everything. I didn't think when I started doing this that I would enjoy it so much. So I really appreciate the support, everybody, and thank you all for hopping in at some point or another. I hope as things go on and we continue to stream that I can better determine what days are more suitable and when there's going to be more viewers. It seems like Tuesday's more popular than a Monday, and sometimes the evenings are more popular than the mornings, etc. as time goes on, I hope more and more of you come into the chat. I hope more and more pilots get involved as well. It's almost time for our mid-flight break actually. We've got an ETA now, we shouldn't be there too long. The ETA is probably about half an hour at this point, although that's usually a little bit underestimated. So probably about 40 minutes yet. I'm going to step away from the cockpit, virtually that is, grab myself a cup of tea. Please feel free to do the same and I'll be back in a couple of minutes. So sorry everybody, I just returned to the cockpit and accidentally dragged my plane around the air, so sorry about that. So sorry. Oh my goodness. I don't think we moved it too far. We moved it back a lot and then moved it forward. I don't think we've moved it we're not supposed to do that. That was a complete accident. It's one of the features I forgot about actually. I think we were about there on the map anyway, so yeah, Anyway, let's move on from that very quickly. We're inbound for Isle of Man. Once we pass Manchester and the Liverpool area, so here's Manchester and then Liverpool. Once we pass that, we'll be. I reckon we're less than 20 minutes out now. 20 minutes to go, I think. So we're on the final section of the flight. I'm going to start doing that chat list. Fantastic chat list. Absolutely love it. Can't get enough of the Baron. I don't know what that sound was. It must have been, you know, you're a very naughty pilot. You just cheated. Something like that. Unless it's disconnected me. No, it's not disconnected from VATSIM. You'll notice is actually the flight plan is the path I was flying is completely gone. It's completely eradicated it. Oh well, we live to fight another day. Currently at 5,000 feet. I'm just contemplating whether we should descend now just to avoid traffic at Manchester Airport, because we're going to be flying pretty close to it. Oh no, it's over to the right hand side of us. Hop into the back a sec, let's see if we can see it. Doesn't matter too much. If you want, by the way, if you want an X checklist, it might make it a little bit easier than using the other tab, which is what I'm using. You may be able to put this into the X checklist if you made your own, for example. Keeping that descent speed in mind there of 170 knots. It's not very slow at all, to be honest. We're going to be speeding down. We've avoided Manchester airspace. Just going to be skimming the outskirts of it, and that'll cover Liverpool as well. And they're departing runway 27, so obviously we're going to be careful there. The traffic, if it comes out, it might be around our altitude when it comes out. We're just going to keep our eye on it. There's the airport though in the distance. Yeah, so Manchester Airport has an initial climb altitude of 5,000 feet, and that corresponds with their transition level as well, so that's why we got to be extra precautious. Even though we're, you know, relatively small aircraft and low down, we're not as fast as a jet, we still got to keep our eye out for them, because we've not got a TCAS system. We've got a transponder, but we've got no traffic collision avoidance system, or traffic collision advisory system in case of a inbound plane to our position. So we're heading down, obviously, the flight plan towards Wal, and then we'll be at Isle of Man, crossing that sea there, the Irish Sea that is, into the Isle of Man, into the airport known as Ronaldsway for runway. Currently checking the stats of the airport, see what's going on there. It looks like we just got a radar online. Fantastic, so ATC seems to have come online, everybody. Covering the entirety of England by the look of it. London Control. Yeah, literally the entirety of England's just been covered by London Control. So we're tuned them, 127.830. absolutely fantastic. They're going to have a lot of work to do. In fact, the entirety of London and London Controls come on at the same time. Let's tune it in. 27 430. London Control, Golf Charlie Alpha Bravo Golf, 5,000 feet. See if they're online properly or not, if they're still getting set up with their equipment. Oh, if we tuned in the correct frequency, everybody, excuse me. 830, not 430, I'm looking at London South. 830. Obviously, if you're a real pilot, you'd be able to look at your charts and things. You may be even be able to use your GPS to find the frequency. London Control, Golf Charlie Alpha Bravo Golf, 5,000 feet. Liverpool QNH 1020, Golf Bravo Golf. Okay, let's get set in that 1020 QNH. It is a little bit quiet on the radio though, we're going to have to crank that up. Aircraft is super loud, I forgot what it was like to fly in a proper airplane. A lot of interference as well on the radio. There's the Laminar, everybody, we're almost there, final stretch. Runway 26. ILS. It may give us the ILS, but I'm not too keen on doing it, to be fair. We've already preloaded the this one down here for the DME.
Good afternoon, Speedbird, Lima Bravo Whiskey.
Tune the NDB.
216 Bravo, level 340. Easy 216 Bravo, under control, roger, identified. Speedbird 9 Bravo Whiskey, in the same position. We're currently at Birmingham, requesting IFR to Casablanca as filed. Contact Birmingham radar. Birmingham radar, Speedbird 9 Bravo Whiskey. Lufthansa 2 Papa, flight level 380, ready for descent. Lufthansa 2 Papa, Logan 2 Hotel arrival, descent, flight level 250. Logan 2 Hotel, arrival 350, Lufthansa 2 Papa. The flight level 250. Correction, 250, Lufthansa 2 Papa. Papa Fox Charlie, contact London Control 134.125. 134125, Papa Foxtrot Charlie, bye. Turkish 1987, contact Heathrow Director 119 at decimal 730.
11973, Turkish 1987 Heavy.
Channel 731, going to start climbing now, flight at 380, both times. Channel 7313, can you repeat? Channel 713, start climbing now, flight level 280. Start climbing now, flight level 280, London Easy 965 Alpha, climbing flight level 360, both times. Easy 965 Alpha, under control, roger, break, showing Sporting Hotel, descend flight level 80. 10 flight 80, showing Sport Hotel. Sky Spine, expect out 22 and Stansted.
Super busy, he's checking in with everybody, covering the whole of England. Love it when ATC's online though.
France 029, London control, roger, identified. London control, very good afternoon, this is Turkish 47 Lima, flight level 40. Turkish 47 Lima, London control, hello, when ready, descend. Flight level 200 to be level. Descend flight level 200, level Outlaws for Turkish 47 Lima. Good evening, Station calling, say call silently. Shuttle 3 Lima, London control, hello, Honolulu 2 Hotel, arrival, flight now, flight level 190. EG35 Hotel, descend flight level 140.
Descent flight level 140, EG35 Hotel.
Calling for EG56 Lima, Charlie, flight level 350, en route to Amsterdam. EG56 Romeo Charlie, London control, roger, same position. Oh, never mind, EG56 Charlie, you identified, route direct Dibble. Bravo Golf sets under pressure.
Setting standard pressure, Golf Bravo Golf. Okay, he's giving a standard pressure reading for 5,000 feet. Let's go ahead and do that. So that's going to climb us back up to about 5,000. Need to adjust that volume though, the audio is not very clear from the ATC. Expect the ILS runway 26 into Ronald's Way, Golf Bravo Golf. Okay. He's given us the ILS as I suspected. Let's go ahead and program him now. ILS runway 26, Ronald's Way. I'm assuming we're just going to go for the vectors. Load that in. So when we get down to Lucid, we'll probably start to activate the approach.
Descent flight level 80,
and then centre fix.
Manchester radar 11850 and C35 Hotel.
Object 41 Kilo stand for box 7278 Max request taxi. Lufthansa 8 Alpha Foxtrot contact Heathrow 119.730. Heathrow 119.730 Lufthansa 8 Alpha Foxtrot Mike. Who else called? Subject 41 Kilo ready for taxi from Cardiff.
Lovely cabin.
4 Kilo Richard, taxi to holding point Alpha 1 and squawk 5017. Alpha 1 5017, Air France 387, redirect Sierra Foxtrot Delta. Correct.
I'll have to start planning for that descent. Let's get ready for the descent. We do the descent checklist. So altimeter is standard at the moment, that'll be 1019. Mixture's fully, not full set just yet. Cow flaps already closed. We'll put flaps to approach when we start our descent near the airport. And then power is required. We're not going to idle though. We will feather, but we won't idle the manifold pressure. There's a descent checklist, but there's no approach checklist on here. It's just landing or a bulk landing, as you can see. Golf Bravo Golf leaving the airspace, cleared as filed. Roger, Charlie Bravo Golf. Fantastic. I thought we were still in his airspace. I'm going to have to sort the audio out at some point though, I'm struggling to hear him. Technically it does cover the Isle of Man, but there is an ATIS now available there. 123.880 and London Control. We'll just stay on his frequency. Go ahead and activate the approach then.
Station calling unreadable and that was quite painful.
Runway 26 ILS. How far? Keep looking at the map, checking how far. We can just check on the GPS just to make sure we're not going to be approaching too early. Should be alright, there's altitude though. Just for the time being, I'm going to take control. I'm just going to turn us back on track to the final, because for some reason it's not routing us direct. Really well trimmed there by the autopilot. Have to brush up on my ATC as well. Like you said, we were entering controlled airspace, clear to re-enter it, but Let's prepare for landing. Or at least prepare for something. 170 knots decrease. We are sort of descending a little bit. We probably maintain 5,000 for now. Until we're a little bit closer. Go Bravo Golf, roger. Right, so this guy's going to the Erdov waypoint. Let's go back to that waypoint there. We were going to try and shortcut it, but he's caught on to us already, unfortunately. Not an issue though, we'll just carry on back to Erdov. So that's going to be a strange approach because we'll have to go to the airport and then make a right turn for the final runway 26. Re-entering the controlled airspace, Golf Bravo Golf. That's such a short break, you probably don't have to give that call over the radio, to be honest. Leaving and then re-entering, but it's such a small area there where he said it, probably worth not mentioning it at all, to be honest. It's good to scratch up on it, but I've just never heard it happen on Vatsim before. He's probably trying to keep me on my toes, I think. So we're going down this airway anyway, and then so obviously Erdov and Lucid, all the waypoints. Possibly here we'll be given a vector to the final. Let's check the instruments again, everything's looking pretty good. Do I know you have to subscribe here for 4 weeks to write here? Yes, I did. The reason is that in the past I had people coming in and not participating, so I realised if I put it onto subscribers only, it would only be obviously people who are usually talking as subscribers would be talking in the anyway. If that makes sense. If you have an open chat, there's just going to be nobody in there, I don't think. And I had it open on one stream and there was someone in there just arguing, so it's kind of pointless. I can change it if you want, that can make it less.
You sound like you're very far away. I can barely hear you. Report your position to me via text because I can't understand what you're saying.
Let's just turn the radio down.
Station calling 6 or 7? Beeline 6 Hotel Mike. Beeline 6 Hotel Mike, London Control. Hello, sir. Squawk, please 4427, mode Charlie. Stop 4427, mode Charlie. Beeline 6 Hotel Mike. Garage 59, Code 9, runway 22, service was 3007. Shuttle 3, anyone contact Heathrow 119 decimal 7.
Oh, I see. Finest. You're right, actually.
Golf Bravo Golf, flight heading 350, increase descent to altitude 3,000 feet, the QNH is 1019.
350, 3000 feet, 1019, Golf, Bravo Golf. Okay, let's get going. 350. He's giving us vectors now to the ILS. Down to 3,000 feet, so we can start our descent. We have to make sure we fly the plane first, just be aware. ATC comes next, after aviating, of course. Okay, let's reduce the manifold slightly. Only slightly, and then we'll bring that down for the descent. And what we're going to do is we're going to stick landing lights on. Strobes have been on the whole time. We don't need fuel boosts. Mixtures do need to be rich though for descents, so we're going to do that. So you can see the EGT dropped, mixture's rich. Seatbelts and shoulder harnesses secured, fuel selector valves, boosts off, cow flaps. I'm going to crack them a little bit. Just a little bit for the landing. So 152 knots, we'll drop a notch of flaps. So I just feather the props and we'll just glide, allow the speed to drop as well. Landing lights on, flaps below 122, we stick full flaps. Props, high RPM when we're landing.
Golf Bravo Golf, descent to altitude 2,000 feet.
2,000 feet, Golf Bravo Golf. Okay, 2,000 feet it is, we're going straight down. We're going to be on ILS altitude. At this point we can go back to our FMC or the whatever this is, and we can just go direct to the center fix. Okay, one notch of flaps. Now we're going to use the manifold for speed. So full prop forward, or prop fully forward. Although, actually, find us. I know you're saying about the chat. I can change it, but if just a note to everyone else: if you do have any comments, please leave them in the comment section afterwards, and I will get back to you fairly quickly as well. And I'll change the chat I'll make the next stream open, but it just depends because, again, the viewers are not that high to begin with.
Speedbird 9 Bravo Whiskey, climb to flight level 190. Climb 190, speedbird 9 Bravo Whiskey. Runway 88, polite, lead Barkway, heading 060 degrees. Lead Barkway 060, runway 88, polite.
Prop sync will come off for landing, and so will your damper. Just gotta bear that in mind. I hope we still have rudder control from the yoke, otherwise we're gonna be a little bit screwed. Rudder seems to have stopped moving as well, sorted itself out.
Golf Bravo Golf, turn left heading 290, clear ILS runway 26.
Left 290, clear for the ILS, runway 26, Golf Bravo Golf. Clear for the ILS, let's go down, we're about 2,000 feet, we'll maintain that, as he said.
Runner 5, Papa X-ray, landing control, roger, that's copied. Who else called?
A lot of visibility, we're going to have to put the frequency in.
Runner 994 Whiskey, bring this 1 November.
G and use this, and we're going to select V-lock, and we're going to activate it on the navigation down here.
London Control, Condor 705 at flight level 320. Condor 705, please log off and on again. Someone else has got your flight plan. Roger, Condor 705. Runner 994 Whiskey, descend flight level 220. Runner 994 Whiskey, descend 220. Runner 88, Papa Mike, descend flight level 80. Lufthansa 94 Echo, descend flight level 160, level base. Actually disregard Lufthansa 94 Echo, descend flight level 140. Descending flight level 140, Lufthansa 924 Echo. Speed 9 Bravo Whiskey, contact under control 129.430. 129.430, speed 9 Bravo Whiskey, thank you.
It's way too well on the glide slope, and we'll activate the approach switch. Almost done it. No landing speed reference, but we'll go in about 115. There's a glide slope. Approach switch is coming on. Landing lights on. I'm using the autopilot for now. We might as well. It's available for us. 115 will be our, hopefully our target speed, and then cross by 100 knots, I think, by the threshold. A little bit faster just because of wind. About 10 knots. There's the runway. We got the runway in sight. We're currently 5.8 nautical miles there from the runway. Apparently. Yeah, coming down. 3 green lights. Slow down to 122 for the flaps full. Flaps full. Clear to land runway 26, taxi to standard choice Golf Bravo Golf.
Shuttle 2 Papa Company Heathrow 119.730.
Fantastic, we got a choice of a parking space here, so we'll probably try and take the fast exit at the back there. Looking like a good approach, just got that 10 knot headwind. Just keeping that in mind for our speed, roughly 10 knots. Okay, we're going to turn prop sync off, and yaw damper and autopilot, we have control of the aircraft. We do indeed have control, it's been very well trimmed by the autopilot. Turn the radio down, let's focus. Beautiful island, absolutely beautiful. Just maintaining it, not really putting much input in, not really changing the throttle, just keeping it as it is. Bringing that throttle back, the manifold pressure. Keep that speed a bit lower, it's a bit low, high at the moment. Low approach there, the final, but still decent. Oof. And we lost all rudder control. Now we're smoking the brakes. Oh my god. We've lost all control of that rudder, the bloody thing is a pain in the ass. Excuse me for the language, but like, I don't know why it does that. You have the control and then land and the rudder control will go. And then it'll come back on when you've recalibrated and reset it. Good landing though, just minus the rudder thing, so taxi lights. Yeah, good landing, not bad. I like that approach. If anybody knows why the yoke does that, the honeycomb yoke, it'll control the rudder and then suddenly stop either mid-flight or on landing. If you know what's causing that in the hardware, then let me know. The obvious fix would be to just get a rudder set as well, but this is pretty new, so I've got and buying it all separately rather than as a set. Anyway, I'm going to watch the replay. That was good. Let's thank the ATC. Pick parking first. Do we need an FBO? No, we don't. Let's just taxi down Foxtrot to parking. Stand by on transponder. Actually, we'll leave it on for the 80s thing. Cool looking airport though. Plenty of FBOs here. Flaps up. This is FBO, I think. Maintenance area hotel. Well, we're going to need maintenance area after that landing, I think. After the rudder issues. Okay, and all the brakes have stopped. There we go. I think we're just about out of space. We have area, maintenance area mic. Just ignore that truck, everybody. There we go.
320 degrees 8 knots. Take off. EGA67 Mike, resume line navigation, direct gas band. Direct gas by EGA67 Mike. EG1181 London, control, climb flight level 240 direct.
Whew. Let's disconnect. So we've done that. Let's do the checklist. Landing taxi lights off. Flaps up. Trim tabs set to 0. Cowl flaps open to cool the engine down. Fuel pumps are off. Should have had the strobes off as well there, but there's no option for it. Parking brake set. Propellers high RPM. 1000 on the manifold pressure. Fuel boost off. Electrical and avionics off. Transponders, no transponder on that list, but transponders should be off as well. Batteries, avionics, electrical avionics off. Mixture controls cut off. Magnetos off. Battery and alternator switches also coming off. So that's pretty much the full checklist flight. Minus a few lights. Didn't tell us to turn the beacons off, for example. Minus that landing, which was semi-decent, but just blame it on the hardware for disconnecting there. Look at that parking though, brilliant. Cheers, Finders. And welcome in EO. I don't think we've met before. There's the landing. So we're coming in absolutely fine. The rudder seemed to be working, and then so there's full flaps. And you'll notice when we touch down we don't have the rudder control. I'll have to get in contact with Honeycomb about that and see why it's not working. I'm not gonna lie, that was a really good approach, just minus that last bit. Good ATC comes from London and Bassim. Very good landing and very kind regards to ATC, and they're doing a fantastic job as usual. One thing we didn't set actually was we didn't turn standard pressure on landing. We didn't put 1019, but I'm sure it's absolutely fine. So there it is, rudder control from the I explain Honeycomb interactions, and no rudder control and wheel control at the front. So no wheel control there, and no braking afterwards either, which is unfortunate. So it seems to be changing certain settings in the game. Very smooth though, it's just any second out out, straight down the centre line. And that a little bit too hard. And of course lack of nose control. Wow. Honestly, if you've seen my streams before, you'll notice I do a lot better because I've used the Xbox controller, so it had all the controls built in. I don't know why it keeps taking the functionality away from certain features. Anyway, lovely to see you all. Great to see you find us, and new stream viewers and EOEO, welcome. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Tomorrow's stream is not going to be at the usual time because I have morning commitment. So it might not be at 1:30, it'd probably be sometime in the afternoon, and we'll be doing a Cirrus Vision Jet flight across Italy, hopefully to Firenze. So if you know anything about that airport, it's also in a scenic location. I'll try and get the honeycomb sorted at least in the meantime, so it doesn't conk out on us. So thank you everybody, have a fantastic Tuesday and take care.